I am going to discuss about the relationship between education and psychology. And we know that education and psychology are two different subjects. Education and psychology are two different subjects. Psychology studies about the mental processes of individual. Psychology studies about the mental processes of individual and studies about the human behavior and education can be defined as the process of imparting or acquiring knowledge and habits through instruction or study. Education can be defined as the process of imparting or acquiring knowledge and habits through instruction or study. And education is a normative science. Education is a normative science in which which deals with mainly thoughts and ideas. Which based on value, judgment, ethics, and logic. On the other hand, psychology is an objective and positive science. Objective science means not influenced by personal feeling or opinions, or which means it is impartial. And positive science means which based on fact or truth. And education is a thought-based process. On the other hand, psychology is influenced by real experience. For example, experience of family, experience of friends, etc. And education is a synthetical process, and on the other hand, psychology is an analytical process. And psychology is an experiment-based process. Experiment-based process means a scientific procedure undertaken to make a discovery or test hypothesis. And education is also a thought-based process, which means deals with mainly thought and ideas, which is based on value, judgment, logic, ethics, etc. And the relationship between education and psychology, the first point is both are related to behavior. Because psychology is the science of behavior. I have already discussed about the meaning of psychology, that psychology is the science of behavior, and psychology studies about the mental processes of individual and studies about the human behavior, and psychology is the science of behavior, and education is the modification of behavior. This modification can't be easily both unless we know the science of behavior, because without the proper knowledge of science of behavior, we can't, or education can't modify human behavior. Therefore, both are related to behavior, and therefore it is called that education and psychology are the both sides of same coin, and both are related to each other. First point is both are related to behavior. Second point is psychology is the means to achieve the aim of education. Psychology is the means to achieve the aim of education. Education is a normative science in which values and ideals to be it determines ideals of human life and development. On the other hand, psychology is a positive science, determines the ways and means for attainment of these aims set up by education in a realistic manner. In this way, education sets the aims as behavioral modification, and psychology prescribes the means and describe the manner of attainment these aims. Because psychology studies human behavior, experience, and therefore psychology helps the education to achieve the aims of education. Aims of education, for example, modification of human behavior, development of our society, or like economic development, or modification of children behavior, or make a child-centric curriculum or child-centric education system. In this, psychology helps the education to achieve the aim of education. And next is, major theories of education are also based on psychological findings, like trial and error method of learning. According to Thorndike, in trial and error method of learning, according to Thorndike, learning is the reset of bond or connection established between stimulus and response through repetition. Repetition helps to eliminate the wrong and adopt the right attempt. In trial and error method of learning, Thorndike give importance on connection between stimulus and response. And he also said that repetition helps to eliminate the wrong and adopt right attempt. And next point is, the knowledge of psychological process like learning, memory, motivation, intelligence, personality, etc. of the learner is very necessary in the field of education. Classroom teaching is very important component of an educational system. The knowledge of psychology, particularly regarding the learner's intelligence and interest at various stages of development are very necessary for effective teaching. Therefore, psychological processes like learning, memory, motivation, intelligence, personality of the learner is very necessary in the field of education. And learners' intelligence and interest at various stages of development are very necessary for effective teaching. And next point is, in modern educational system, guidance and counseling are also becoming unavoidable. With the help of guidance and counseling, various academical, behavioral and social problems can be solved easily. We generally see that in modern educational system, guidance and counseling are also becoming unavoidable, because with the help of guidance and counseling, various educational, behavioral, or academical, behavioral and social problem can be solved easily. And next point is, psychology suggests use of different method in teaching learning process to achieve better result, such as Montessori method, kindergarten method, etc. In Montessori method, sensorial materials are given to the students, and like woolen ball, cube, etc. And which helps to child their better development or refine his or her 5 senses. And in kindergarten garden method, give importance on self activity of the child, and child carry out his own impulses like creativeness, social participation, etc. And these are the modern method in teaching learning process to achieve better result. And psychology and the teacher. Psychology also helps to understand the mental status of his students helps the teacher to understand the mental status of his students, and helps the teacher to evaluate his students and measure his achievements, and the helps to the teacher understand the weakness of his students and finds solution for the problems. With the help of psychology, the teacher learns to modify the behavior of the students and to change negative behavior into positive behavior. Therefore, psychology is most important in the field of education. Or also helps to helps the teacher to understand the mental status of his students and weaknesses and strengths of students, and also helps the teacher to modify students behavior, and also helps the teacher to know the intelligence and learning capacity of the students. Therefore, these are the relationship between education and psychology. And psychology also give importance on child-centric education, and also give more emphasis on children development. Child-centric education means give importance on mainly on child needs and their capability, or and their and mainly give importance on more emphasis on the children, their needs or their capability, etc. And give importance on child-centric curriculum. So, and psychology has unlimited influence on the division of class time, preparation of syllabus, utilization of teaching and learning materials, determining the subject matter of formal education, etc. And knowledge of psychology provides knowledge about the individual difference and selection of profession, teaching according to the stages of human growth and development, etc. So above all, psychology provides a new vision to education. So these are the relationship between education and psychology.